Okay, in a previous video, we covered how to lay out and add center marks and center lines to a multi-view drawing, as well as adding dimensions and setting up title blocks. And so now what we need to do is we're going to talk about how do you add a sheet to a drawing file so you can add additional drawings to a particular file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the white space, bottom of the white space here in my browser, and I'm going to right click. Then I'm going to come down to the option for New Sheet, and I'm going to select that. Once I do that, I have a blank title block now in front of me, and I can go ahead and grab my next file. So I'm going to go back to my Place Views tab at the top, and then I'm going to go back to Base. And I'm actually going to now want to lay out my metric part, and I can just show you how to handle a metric part file. You do not need to open up a new drawing file. Everything can be done in the same drawing file. First thing I'm going to do is then go ahead and set up my scale. I believe I can set this one up at 1:1. Don't want this to be my front view, so I'm going to turn that and make this my front view, and then slide this over. I'm going to come back this way and set up my right side view, and then come and set up the top view. Now, looking at this, I think it's going to be probably a little tight maybe to get all the dimensions on here necessary, but we're going to give it a try. We're going to see how that looks. Looking at it, looks like it's centered now on the page, and that the distance between the views is the same. I'm going to go ahead now and make sure hidden lines are turned on, and then I'm going to hit OK. So it goes ahead and it generates those views. Hidden lines are all present. And then the first thing I'm going to do, grab my annotation tab, and I'm going to grab my center mark tool, and then I'm going to go ahead and center mark these objects right away. And I'll center line my holes as well. So go ahead and take care of that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to now go ahead and start with the dimensioning. But first I'm going to grab my dimension tool, and I'm going to come over here and pull down the dimension by standard. And very similar to an AutoCAD where you can change the dimension style used, I'm going to come down and go ahead and select this default millimeter ANSI. So once I select that, I can now add dimensions to my drawing, and the dimensions that I select and then pull out to add are set up in millimeters. Now, the thing with Inventor is that if I stop creating dimensions by hitting escape, and then I go back and grab my dimension tool again, generally this stays as by standard. So what needs to happen so you do not have to constantly change this to default millimeters is you need to go to the big File tab at the top, then you're going to slide down to the word Options. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to set up the options for the drawing. And we'll actually then find at the top of the screen here the Drawing tab. And then we're going to come down. The standard, by default, what is loaded is called by standard, and it'll look like this. So you want to pull that down and then select Last Used for the default object style, and then also for the layer style, because as you're working with this, you just want to change this while you're here. By standard, go in and use Last Used as well. And what that will do is it will allow you to not have to change this dimension. So whatever the last dimension is that you place, it will keep that as the actual dimension style. So as with that being placed, ANSI millimeter is there. I can then go ahead and start dimensioning the rest of my object here. Go ahead and place this dimension and come in and we can start setting up some distance information. We'll go ahead and we'll pull some more information here. Then we'll run an overall dimension such as this. So just continue dimensioning as you would as a normal drawing. The last piece that you would do after you go through and you're dimensioning, or you could even do it in the beginning, is you want to put a metric box. So to add a metric box or metric note, you can come up to the text box, and where it says text in big A, you can select that. And I'm just going to come over and select a metric area or area to place my metric box, and I'm just going to type in the word metric. And make sure all my text is the same size, 0.125 in height, and then I can hit OK. With the metric label here on the drawing, that indicates that this is a metric drawing and it should be utilized as such. Hope this helps is laying out a metric drawing file and keeps you moving forward with your assignment.